Hello, and welcome to my assessment of where we're at with the retrograde planets at the moment. So I'm just going to share my screen and the chart, and I'm going to go back all the way to the 27th of November. All right. So that was a good 5 months ago, or yeah, about five and a half months ago. So all of the things that we're dealing with right now, the just the roll-on effect has been playing out. And so by around the beginning of May, we should be really feeling like the drag and the retrospective reflection is over. So let me just share my screen. All right, so here we are. I'm at the 26th of November. Now, this was when Mercury went retrograde at 22 degrees of Sag. Now, I've gone all the way back there because on the 8th of December, all right, Mars went retrograde at 6 degrees of Leo. Now, he still hasn't reached, he's direct now as of the 8th of April. However, he doesn't actually reach that shadow period finish until the 3rd of May. All right. So, and I'm only really talking about his shadow specifically because um everything in Aries is being influenced by Mars's retrograde journey. All right, so as you can see here, we've got Mercury still retrograde while Mars started. So it did give it that little bit of flavor. We had Mars in Leo being very proud of himself, moving ahead in confidence. But he was starting to, like, I mean, not directly, but as the sky was shown at that time, Mercury and the Sun were coming up to have or they'd just had their cazimi, their conjunction, and then Mercury was opposite Jupiter. So there was a lot of philosophy and belief in the air. So, like with that Mars in Leo, there was a lot of self-belief. All right. So, lots of things were happening. All right. And we also had that Pluto Venus conjunction in Aquarius. So we were feeling like this was a very transformative time and we were after our freedom. All right. Well, we were looking to broaden our perspectives. We were looking for something bigger. Something had to change. So, in order for all that to change, we had to look within to see what it was that we actually wanted. All right. So now, if I go through now, Mercury went direct on around the 18th. All right. So I'm going to fast forward now. Mars is still retrograde, and where am I? February, the 2nd of March, the Venus went. There we go. Sorry, I couldn't cue this up. Okay, so Venus goes retrograde at 10 degrees of Aries. Now it's interesting because Mercury went direct at 9 degrees of Aries. All right, so we've got this very, very similar energy of this. Well, yeah, I mean, there's just this potency around that degree, all right, because then the solar eclipse that we had on the 16th of March was, sorry, not the 16th of March, the 29th of March was also at 9 degrees of Aries, all right? So I don't actually have the Sabian symbol in my head, but it's very much about really connecting in with that internal power source and how we think about ourselves, how we feel about ourselves, the direct and passion that is involved with our path ahead. And that was also influenced by Mars's retrograde because he went back in time. He went back through his ancestry and his lineage and all of his past experiences, especially from early childhood, to figure out how he came to be who he was. Now, Mars in Cancer is in detriment. He just doesn't like being in Cancer because he's emotional and he doesn't want to be. He wants to be a man's man. But, there's so much about what this is saying is that it is important for men to be vulnerable, to have emotions, to express their feelings, especially in this day and age. I know that, like, there's a lot of men that I work with. And I've got quite a few of them that are leaders, trainers, and people that inspire men to, get in touch where they're feeling. Masculine, like men's suicide rates are ridiculous, but they're getting addressed. So here we are with men being vulnerable. And so part of that power is the ability to be vulnerable and to feel. All right, so that was very much random and off the cuff as far as my brain goes, but I think it makes a lot of sense. All right, so Venus starts her retrograde journey at 10 degrees, and then we had these couple of days here where Mercury and Venus were coming up to conjunct. So we have to look within to see why it was important for us to be able to stand strong, to stand our ground. Right now I'm thinking of Boadicea, and even though Cleopatra was a queen in Egypt, she still had that tenacity and badassery to like really go up against the generals and go up against the warring forces to state her claim and power. I often use Xena Warrior Princess as an example in this case because, Venus in Aries. And then when she went back into, there we go, we had that beautiful conjunction on the 12th of March where our hearts and minds met. But then we had her going back into Pisces. So this was around the 20, oh, this was that solar eclipse. All right. So we had Venus meeting Neptune. All right. So in Pisces. So think about that real spiritual connection that we have. There is like our connection to the universe. Venus is exalted in Pisces, which means she's a honored guest, having a fancy feast, and people are adoring her and saying, give us your wisdom. So with that Neptune conjunction, she was like channeling shit, really. All right. So then later on, Mercury moved into Pisces, into a conjunction with Neptune. It's not exact on this screen, but it was there. And it was like when Gabrielle came into Xena's life and showed Xena that it was beautiful and strong to have feelings, to have compassion, especially for yourself. In this day and age where it's so much like you've got to achieve and you've got to do this and drive and, goals and all the rest of the things, taking time for quiet contemplation to really connect in with what it is you actually want and to not be swayed by social conditioning, family conditioning. And I mean, look, tradition and ancestry is just our dead ancestors still bullying us into wanting to conform to their way of life. All right. So, in order for all this to happen, we've got to look back. We've got to feel into what we're doing to see where we're getting our influence. Like, is this just tradition? Is this just early childhood conditioning? Is this what I really, really want? All right. So now I'm going to go to now, because it was just last night at 9 o'clock that Mercury went direct. Thank the gods for that one, because I was very much wanting to do a lot, but not actually really achieving much. But I gave myself the compassion and the wisdom to know that everything is still retrograde. We can move forward with our thoughts. We can start to plan the things that we want to be doing while still, allowing the cosmic forces to flow or whatever. you know. So last night we also have Venus conjunct Saturn. So a good analogy, or not an analogy, but a good way to look at this is while Mercury was still stuck looking at his experience, all right, things that have already happened, Venus was coming up against these hard lessons that need to be learned, or these desires and the discipline required to do the dream. So, she was applying to Saturn and she was like, oh my God, it still feels hard. But then you go one day forward and she's on the other side and she's like, oh, actually, that wasn't as hard as what I thought it was going to be. I can totally do this. All right. So, and here's Mercury going, yeah, I'm feeling really, really good. So as we keep going, we've got Mercury coming up to conjunct the North Node, all while The sun is in Aries, like I said earlier, being ruled by Mars in Cancer. And, we've got these beautiful trines. We've got all these really, really harmonious aspects happening. Mars sextile the South Node. All right. We're starting to see and be able to allow the cogs to turn to release the things of the past, South Node, that were not good for us, Virgo. All right. So we understand Mars and all these guys here are talking to Mars. Sorry, Mars is talking to Venus, Saturn, Mercury, North Node, and they're quite close. And so they're like, oh my God, we can achieve these dreams. What plans do we need to put into place so that we can move forward towards our goals? What feels good? What's worth fighting for? All right. And all that time, the sun is coming closer to Chiron. We are understanding the wounds of the past that have kept us restricted and kept us at the back of the troops. You know what I mean? Like we weren't brave enough to go, I can fight for what I believe in. All right, so this is just all propelling us forward. So I'm just going to go forward a couple of days. As you can see, Venus and Saturn, they're still all here, the North Node Mercury. Mercury starts to feel like he's moving on around the 12th. And then on the 13th, which is the full moon on Sunday the 13th, is going to be a cracker. So we've got the conjunction is at 2 in the morning on Sunday morning. All right, that is just full on. And then at 10:20 a.m., the full moon in Libra, Aries Libra is there. And then at 11 a.m., Venus goes direct. So we've got that period of 40 minutes where Venus is still looking within. And, like Lilith is playing into this as well. The moon moves into Scorpio like at 11:54 or something. And so when we wake up on Monday, we've got the moon conjunct Lilith. But it's just sort of playing into what are these last things that you have not said to your partner? What are these last things that you have kept to yourself when it comes to finding balance, Libra, within yourself? All right. So there's definitely this all right, the Aries part to the we, the Libran part. All right. So for this whole week, what is the thing that is a wound or, some sort of restricting, limiting belief that you have when it comes to being involved with something? It's Libra, so it could be finances, partnerships, self-worth. Why are you always trying to keep the peace or not rock the boat, finding balance? Why are you the one that is always sacrificing yourself? I am because of, partnerships. Is it, did you have what was your parents' relationship like? What are the relationships you've always seen in life that, well, I can't speak up. I can't say what I truly feel because I might hurt someone's feelings. Yet here you are being hurt all along and you're totally fine with that. So there are a lot of things that are coming our way. So this is for the Monday the 14th, and as you can see, Venus is still conjunct Saturn, but now she's moving forward. She does stay at that 24 degrees up until Friday the 18th, and then she sets off. All right, so there we have this. Oh, look at this, the 22nd of April. So that's like 14 days away, 2 weeks ago. Look at this, Venus, North Node, Saturn. I feel like I can finally move forward with my goals, dreams, and have the discipline and determination to make these dreams that I have a reality. All right. So by that time as well, the sun is moving into Taurus, which is Venus's sign. So we get this level of comfort. All right. We have self-worth. We are self-assured. We have value. Mars by that time has also moved into Leo. So remember, we had that 6-degree Leo. Now, he is out of shadow on the blah, 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 let's say the 2nd of May or 3rd of May. And, Venus is back in Aries. She's got her armor back on. She's all confident. And Mercury's past that solar degree. And Venus is out of her shadow around the 14th of May. So even though that is over a month away, you can see how this story has been playing out since the end of November. And, by the time all of this has happened, all of those planets are going to be past their shadow point, and we are finally going to see the changes that are coming our way. So look at that, 23 degrees of Taurus coming up to conjunct Uranus, changes and being comfortable with the changes, having new experiences. And these ones are good for your mental health. These come with safeguards and boundaries that you have been investigating. This whole journey has been about, what do I want? Where are my limitations? What are my beliefs? So I love all of this, so even that, around that sort of second, third week of May, so much good, juicy goodness happening. So I will stop my share now, and thank you so much. I hope that this gives you some sort of clarity, or it gives you some sort of awareness about where you've been, where you're at now, and what you can expect in this coming month that I've gone forward. Now, if you are interested in doing any coaching, this is actually a class that I'm doing with my coaching circle. We get together twice a week at the moment on Tuesdays and Fridays to come together, chat, to look at our charts, to be engaged in the transits that were happening, so we can have real growth and actually have the momentum and the right time to be doing the certain types of work that we need. So thank you so much, and please like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you in my next video. Thank you.